You guys hear me okay? Amanda, drop some emojis. Tell me I can hear you. You can hear me. There we go. I think I'll just give it a minute, let some people roll in here. Then we'll get going in a hot minute. Eric, you can hear me okay? Actually, yes. All right. People coming in. We'll give everybody a minute to get in here, and we'll get going. I got this guy going down that I'll tell you about in like 5 minutes or so. Some of you know what it is already, so you won't be surprised. The dogs are down here, okay? They're coming. All right. People coming in. So I got a bunch of comments about not having my face on here, so here I am. Here we go. I think elusive was used a record 17 times. So I think we'll get going. So basically what I wanted to do is kind of give like a quick, super simplified synopsis of Finger Lakes, and then bring some of my favorite Finger Lakes guests. No, I think friends is better. Into the Meg, he's a person. Into the conversation. So I'm going to be bringing in 5 people in the next hour if we're on time, and we should be. If not, we'll start another one. So Finger Lakes, I'm just going to assume that people know nothing, basically, just for now. A long freaking time ago, glaciers just basically clawed the earth like Wolverine style or Zorro style, whatever, and left these huge freaking Finger Lakes, which is really good for, viticultural winemaking, grape growing. And when that happened, basically all of the minerals, earth, dirt, etc. was scraped up. And it wasn't until semi-recently in the history that vinifera really came into play a lot more. Maya's laughing at something. And I think we're going to focus more on vinifera versus hybrids and other grapes, etc. I think what everyone has on tonight is vinifera. One thing I did want to mention, I'm curious what everyone's drinking. If you haven't already put your stories, do that. And then if you want to drop in the comments too, that's fine. So there were some questions I tried to get beforehand. I'm going to answer them throughout the night. And some of them are going to be a lot more relevant to some of the guests that are coming on. Like I know Christy in a minute, Eric, some of the questions are going to be kind of rolled up into them. So we'll get to those in a hot minute. So I'm going to add Christy here. We're going to get going. And we can see who we got here.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Better now.
Good. So where are you? You're in Michigan right now?
Back
where
in
are
Michigan, yeah. I was in Chicago 3 hours ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so just landed, figuratively
Nice.
speaking. Yeah.
Thank you for making it.
Oh,
So,
of course. Hey, Meg.
for anyone that doesn't know you, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, so I'm Christy's Wine Travels, and I met Adrian, gosh, how many years ago now? 2 in person?
2, yeah.
I think.
And I've
Maybe a
seen
little
you
over
here
2.
3 times.
Yeah.
So you know what's funny about everyone that's on here? I realized after I asked you that I've met every single person here, like in the Finger Lakes somewhere, which is ironic more than anything.
Totally.
And so I think I saw you in Corning 2018, 2019, and then last year here with your family.
Yeah, yep.
And then we had dinner earlier this year, right?
Yeah. Was it this year? Oh my God, yeah. That was 2020.
That was pre-COVID, so it's basically the 90s.
But one of my favorite fun facts is that we actually connected on Instagram first because of J9 Wine Bar in Chicago, because you had been there shortly after I started, and so we had this connection through that randomly of,
That's funny.
just so random, but awesome.
Yeah.
And it
I
all
did
comes
a
back to the
lovely
Finger Lakes.
tasting there. Anyway, so let's get to you and what you are presenting or talking about tonight. Lay it on us. And I have a question for you that came up in my aggregated questions, which is related to this. So go ahead.
You knew I was going to go here. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Hector Wine Company Pinot Blanc. It is hands down my favorite white wine in the Finger Lakes. And that's saying something because I have a lot of favorite white wines in the
It's a
Finger Lakes.
big statement.
It's a big thing. I think I can say it because it's the only wine I can legitimately say that I have bought multiple cases of the same wine.
Oh, I almost cursed. Wow, okay.
Yeah, it's a little nuts.
Nice.
I mean, I've bought in cases from wineries before, but of one single wine,
I haven't even tried the 2019 yet, so I'm
this is my first time opening it.
Oh, that's a 2019?
Yeah, it's a 2019 tonight. I'm
Nice.
saving I've got my 17 and 18. Those are saving now. So I
got
don't have many.
2018.
I do like that one. The 17 though is.
It is.
That's my baby. That one's hiding from me.
Why did you choose to talk about Hector Wine Company here?
I think because it's to me, they just embody the Finger Lakes. From the very first visit we were at, I'd probably been to the Finger Lakes, I don't know, 3 or 4 times before I went to Hector Wine Company, and went on a recommendation and was like, okay, cool. We had a coupon for tasting. I was like, all right, we'll check it out. Went in, and for starters, the hospitality blew me away. Like, they were just so welcoming and awesome, which everybody in the Finger Lakes is. It's one of the things I love the most about it. But every single red wine knocked my socks off. I mean, they just hit it out of the park with every bottle of red wine. From their Bordeaux blends to their straight varietals to, even their table wine is just really good.
I agree.
And so that I was hooked. And, and after that, they became like family. I mean, they just really, I got to know them. They, it's in Hector, and Hector is just like this magical little portal of a town on Seneca that everybody knows everybody. And it's just one giant magical little hug. Like, I just love that town so much. So if I ever relocate, that's where I'll be. Nice. It's just, everybody treats you like family there, and it's just so welcoming, and the wines are amazing. The views are amazing. And the vineyards there, holy cow. I mean. Yeah.
So that was one of my questions, because one of the questions I kind of aggregated beforehand. Sorry, the dogs are like kicking me down here. Was about climates. So microclimate, macroclimates, mesoclimate, etc. And I'm almost certain, I'm like quoting myself here because I wrote this 3 years ago, that all of the fruit from Hector Wine Company is Sawmill Creek.
Yeah. I think they have. I think they have some of their own on site. I want to say they had Lemberger.
Like literally like 10 feet from the door.
Yeah. But otherwise, I think it's all Sawmill, which is in the family. So Jason Hazlitt is co-owner of Hector Wine Company, and Sawmill Creek has been in the Hazlitt family since 1852, I think.
Like over 150 years.
Yeah. So we're talking like some, serious vines and vineyards. Exactly, and it's pretty awesome. And so there's a microclimate there, the Banana Belt, right? So it's the warmest place on the lake. It's on the southeastern side of Seneca Lake. And also, I think the deepest point of Seneca Lake hits right around there too.
Must be, yeah.
I think so. So they're able to keep the vineyards warmer there than the rest of Seneca Lake, just by some degrees, and those degrees matter. So they can grow Cabernet Sauvignon, they can grow Syrah, they can grow. I think they do Albarino there too. So they do some really cool stuff at Sawmill, and it's just in like this nice little microclimate pocket of goodness.
So Jason Hazlitt there, I think it was last year. It might have been an FLX excursion. He was saying that in the winter, like from the shore of the lake, like all the way to the winery at the top, like top-ish of the hill, that the temperature change could be like 20 degrees in the winter, which obviously is insane. So just to give you kind of like a perspective, I guess, of how much it can change when you're that close to the lake. Think of what you can grow.
It is so steep. It's crazy.
Steep,
I love driving. Like, you go driving down the road, and it looks at one point like you're just going to fall off into the lake. It's crazy. It's so, I love it.
Well, the good thing about that, I'm going to get super nerdy right here, is that that changes the airflow going up and down the
Okay.
hills
Yeah,
into like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
That would be
that's kind of the thing
awesome.
there.
Nice.
What else about Hector? Was there a red you wanted to talk about or no?
There is. So my Pinot Blanc. So can't go wrong with Pinot Blanc at Hector. It's partially fermented in French oak and aged in French oak.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's rich, it's
full
creamy,
mellow. Yeah,
it's phenomenal. It's like a really
I think
rich.
the way you described it to me first was correct, which is white Burgundy to the T,
Yeah.
which is to
It,
me like super rare to get in Pinot Blanc because usually Pinot Blanc ends up being a little bit naturally sweeter depending like what you do to it.
right.
And this is to me first off the driest. I think the
It's
only
really
one that
dry.
goes full mallow, yeah. And I think it's only one of 5 Pinot Blancs in the Finger Lakes. Am I right?
Could be. I don't know that I've seen it anywhere else.
Yeah.
I'm sure
There's a few
somebody's
more.
got it, but yeah.
Lenora, Dr. Frank, Kemeter.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, I've had Chemeters. Okay, which is also very good.
anyway, tell me you're gonna go to the red. Sorry, I cut you
All
off.
right,
But
yeah. So I am gonna go to and it's not Cab Franc, guys, but it has Cab Franc in it. So for people that know me, I'm a little obsessed with Cab
a
Franc,
little
especially
crazy. A little crazy.
yeah, especially Finger Lakes. So it is in here, but this is a Bordeaux blend. So Cab Sauv, Cab Franc, Merlot. This one is the 2016. And
Damn.
I
Okay.
swear, if I was drinking this blind, I would have thought it was a Bordeaux.
Yeah.
It's got that. I don't want to say
Yeah.
musty basement because that kind of implies nasty, but it's like that dusty Bordeaux smell
Yeah.
that I get when I open up like an aged Bordeaux bottle. And this has that. It has that dusty kind of, I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's still got the fruit and it's got the aged goodness in there, and it just yeah, they know they're reds. I've got some essence saved up too, and they started making magnums of the essence this year, and
Oh,
they
I
sold
know.
out. Yeah, they sold out before I got them. So
I know. I will. Yeah, you should have told me. I was there. I think with the last few. I think with some of the last Syrah. Also, I got some Syrah hanging on too. But
nice. Oh, those
yeah.
are pretty. Yeah. So you can't go
Anything
wrong with
else
these.
about Hector that you want to get to?
Female winemaker. There's 2 winemakers, Justin Boyette and Alexandra Bond, and Alexandra rocks. She is amazing. So is Justin. Justin's, he does stuff at Forge too. I mean, he is just incredible. But Alexandra came up, just from the passion. Like, she is not
Yeah,
trained
yeah.
in oenology. She just got into the business because she loves it. And I can kind of relate to that. So I kind of, she's amazing. She just, and you can tell on everything she does, everything everybody does there,
Yeah,
from,
for sure.
James, who handles the wine club and the shipments and, works the host, is the host, and Justin and Alex, they all just, it is
Yeah.
like a family. And every time I'm there, it's an awesome place to be. And they're just wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful people that make really, really kick-ass wines.
And I think this kind of like embodies it. One time I was there, and I forget who was there, but everyone coming in was local, and I think Alex was saying she's like, in Hector, we just like the default is just a hug,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm a hugger, so like that's normal to me, but
Oh,
I know
yeah.
other people are not. So
Yeah. And there's
but,
always dogs in there too, which is bonus, I
yeah,
always get the dogs hug too.
yeah, exactly. I took
Fun.
Apollo there one time a few years ago. Yeah,
Nice. Awesome.
yeah.
I love it. So yes, that would be my Hector plug. And, and it was so, I will say this, it is so hard to pick one producer there that I think that was the hardest thing for me. Like, how do you, everybody's like, what's your favorite there? I'm like, oh, do you have 10 minutes? Cause I'm going to go down an entire list. Like, I'll work my way around all the 3 lakes I know.
I know there's a lot. There's probably 200 producers now. Not all have a winery, but there's a crap ton. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a ton, and so many just amazing up and comers and people that have been there for a long time, and there's something for everybody too. I mean, it's there's a lot of European style drive-and-ifera wines, but there's stuff for everybody, and there's beer, and there's liquors, and and the food scene is amazing. So
Yeah,
it's awesome. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Christy.
Someday I'll be your neighbor.
I should be here. We'll see.
You never know. Well, thank you so much for having me on, and I can't wait to hear everybody else's wine choices tonight. Make me thirsty.
And we'll see you after we have a vaccine, or we'll all see you from like across the room, and we can do it.
Exactly, or across the lake. I'll just Good.
All right. Well, good to see you. Thank you, Christy.
Have fun tonight. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right, guys. I'm gonna get Eric on here in a hot minute. Mm, Eric, I'm coming for you. There he is.
Howdy.
How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm glad you can make it. I tried to squeeze you in here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Sorry, I got the day job calling in about 15 minutes for an international call, so I appreciate you
Thank you too.
bumping me up.
Good. Well, let's get to it then. Quick introduction, if you don't mind, for anybody that doesn't know you yet.
Yeah, so my name's Eric. I run an Instagram site. Obviously, you've probably seen Bin 412 Wine. Headquartered here in Pittsburgh, PA, and originally from Baltimore, so it's kind of interesting being, a Baltimore guy in Pittsburgh with the Ravens Steelers rivalry. But I've been here for about 25 years, so been here longer than Baltimore. But I started this company back in 2017 just to try to educate people in the Pittsburgh area a little bit more about wine. I host wine dinners all around the city. I do private events, I do corporate events, just trying to increase knowledge around the area. There's a really good dining scene in Pittsburgh. The wine scene is evolving, but I felt like it needed there was a gap there, people to just kind of make it easier for people to understand and bring it down to down to the masses,
For sure. Nice. And so I've seen Eric here. I saw you here, what was like 2 months ago?
Yeah, we were there first week of October. Yeah.
We're freaking everyone and their mother was here. And then last summer, when it was a heat wave of 2019.
Yeah, you talk about that temperature difference. It works the other way in the summer, right? It was like 96 degrees, and when you get down to the lake, it had to drop 7 degrees difference. Cooler towards the lake. So
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So what are you drinking, or what are you presenting for tonight?
Yeah, so Christy, I'm a huge Hector fan as well, so I won't go back into that. And Christy,
I knew you guys were going to battle that out.
She claimed it quick, and I let her run with it because I know she's a diehard as well. But I mean, the wines are just incredible. The people are wonderful. I figured a lot of people would be doing whites, right? I mean, everyone thinks of Finger Lakes, they think of Riesling. And the second time I came up there in October, just a couple months ago, I really kind of found a lot of whites that I was really enamored with. But the first time I came up in July of 19. What blew me away, I think, more was the reds. I had no idea that the reds were going to be that good up there. And the place that really kind of took me aback was a place called Shaw. Steve Shaw and his son run this vineyard on the west side of Seneca Lake. And if you look at the age of this is a Cab Franc 2013, and I'm actually drinking the Cabernet Sauvignon 2011. These were released.
And I'm pretty sure he just released those either this year or last year.
It was, right? I bought these in 19. So in July of 19, he was releasing his 2011 Cabernet Sauvignon and his 2013 Cabernet Franc. So yeah, he's a really cool guy, really down to earth. He's been in the industry for years up there. I mean, he started when he was, a kid working at Taylor, right? And kind of grew up with the likes of, Guy Deveau and Charles Fournier and Dr. Frank and all those kind of vinifera, folks that put that on the map there. And followed suit and planted his own vineyard, I think in the 80s on Cuca Lake. And then I think in like 99, he was telling me, I think he's got about 50 acres of vines on the west side of Seneca, where the winery is and the tasting room is.
Yeah,
and he's just a really cool guy, and he's kind of a risk taker, and he does things a little differently, which I liked, right? He does very late picks, right? So, the weather there is kind of tough, and as you get into September, October, obviously you've got a lot of moisture and the weather's really cooling down, and you've got this balance of, trying to get more ripeness, but also the disease pressure if it's a wet year. He kind of rolls the dice a little bit and picks really late October, even sometimes in early November, to just get as much ripeness as he can out of the grapes. And I thought that was kind of cool. The other really neat thing he's doing is whole cluster or whole berry fermentations, which you don't see a lot there, right? You think of that as, that's not exactly like carbonic. It's not like, he's doing Gamay and Beaujolais, but he's doing whole cluster fermentation or whole berry fermentation. So he's not actually crushing. He actually has a destemmer that doesn't crush. It just, takes the grapes off of the stems. So, works for him. It's producing some, I think, different results. And then the two other things that kind of blew me away is he's doing a really crazy skin contact program, right? I think the red Cabernet is like 32 days on the skins while it's fermenting before it gets pressed off. He's doing some orange wines there. I think his white was over a year of skin contact before he pressed it. So just
I think the last one he did, I think it's usually Pinot Grigio. And I think the previous one, I think it was 22 months. I'm almost certain, which is insane. Yeah. Yeah.
So he was doing some cool stuff there. And then the aging, obviously. I mean, to be there in 2019, to be drinking a 2011 Cabernet Sauvignon, right? I think, number one, people don't think of red necessarily when they think Finger Lakes, and they certainly aren't thinking about age-worthy wines. And I think,
and a lot of times they're thinking about Bordeaux blends, too.
Right. They're thinking maybe Cab Franc, that's it. I mean, that essence that Christy just shared, that 16 is singing right now, and it's got 20 years ahead of it. I think the acidity, just it brings a freshness to these wines. I mean, this 11 Cab is amazing right now, and even though it's 9 years old and it's got a lot of those secondary characteristics kicking in now with kind of the leather and the dried herbs and the tobacco, some of the fruit is a little bit, in the background now. It still has this vibrance and this energy and this freshness that you just don't get. I had an 08 Napa Cab at dinner a couple months ago, and I was like, man, I was telling you, Adrian, I feel like when you're in California, there's a lot of people out there doing everything they can do, whether it's site selection or work in the vineyard or work in the cellar, to try to make wines that have this energy. So, that's kind of what just keeps me happy about coming up there and trying new things.
Nice. So on that same note, one of the questions I got from Kaylin in Ohio was, and I wanted to ask you because we're talking about reds, was about favorite reds or favorite styles of red wine in the Finger Lakes. So if there's anything else you want to add there, let me know. A lot of people know I like Blaufränkisch / Lemberger, love Cab Franc. I think personally there's some really great Pinot Noir, and there's also some really freaking terrible Pinot Noir. But it depends on the year, where you're getting, everything that goes into it, everyone knows. But, in your opinion, Eric, what's your take on that question?
Yeah, it's a good one. I agree with you. I think the Blaufränkisch or Lemberger is really unique up there, and I've really enjoyed that. The Cab Franc is, it goes without saying that it's really good, but it's more of that kind of Loire style, right? It's a little bit more, it's not like a big ripe, heavily oaked California Cab Franc. It's more Loire style. It's a little bit more, bell pepper note and pretty and elegant with really kind of lifted aromatics. This Shaw 2013 Cab Franc, Meg, I know is going to be on later. If you're a Gamay drinker, I mean, you have to drink this Cab Franc. It is so freaking juicy. I'm obsessed with it. I haven't had it since I was at the winery in 19, and I'm going to call Steve tomorrow and be like, do you have any of this left? I need a case of it. It's insanely good. It's so fresh and juicy, and the aromatics are crazy violet and kind of pencil lead, and it doesn't have that pyrazine, like really strong bell pepper note. It's more like a savory herb on the back end. So, I mean, the Cab Francs are just stellar. But what I was really impressed with up there just this last time was actually at Hector. I really love cool climate Syrah. I absolutely love Northern Rhone. And, you think of the Finger Lakes, can you really get Syrah right there? And, Hector is doing it, and they're doing it well. Justin shared with me, is that the 19? Or is that an older one?
That's the 16.
Okay, he shared with me the 19 that hadn't been released yet, and figured out a way to ring it up so I could buy it, which was nice of him. And it was stunning wine. So I'm excited to see not just the wines that but the things that they're still trying. I feel like the Finger Lakes, like many places in America, it's such a young history, right? It's not like you've got 500 years of this grape grows in this soil, in this climate right here, and this is what we do, and this is how we do it. They're still playing around with a lot of stuff. And, I mean, you drink Pinot Blanc, you're drinking Blaufränkisch, you're drinking, Terrelvigo. Just you name it, it's being experimented.
Bruner, Lagrein, Zweigelt,
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So, I haven't been, to your point, I've had a couple good Pinots up there. They're fewer and farther between for me, for my palate. The ones that I've had that are good are really, really good. But they've been hit or miss. But, the Bordeaux varieties I think are great. The Lemberger I think is great. Anything you think of as a cool climate red wine, you're gonna find a good example of it up there, I think.
Acidity is key for sure. Yeah. Well, Eric, I know you have a work thing in a few minutes, so I don't want to hold you up. But anything else that you want to add before we have to run?
No, I appreciate you putting this together. I appreciate you including me, and I'll be seeing you a couple times a year from here on out. I'm booked.
I'll hold you to it. I'll be here.
Cheers.
All right. Cheers. See you later.
Have a good one.
All right. All right, Nicole, you're up next.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. People were giving me crap about not seeing my face, so I had to do it.
I like it. I love it. I got to see your face for the first time, which was awesome in
All right,
person,
in person, that's different from good
by
old
the way.
Instagram.
In
When
person
that was the
during
same
COVID.
time. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was the same weekend that Eric was here and Meg was here, like 2 months ago, right?
Yep, 2 months ago. And I just want to say shout out to Eric because Eric and we both had dinner reservations at Kindred Fair, and we didn't know that it was on the same day. So I was coming in and he was eating dinner and we were waiting for our table. And I was like, I think that's Eric, but I'm not 100% sure because you guys are so elusive that like no one ever actually knows for sure 100%. And
Elusive.
and so my husband was like, I show Michael, I'm like, I think this is Eric, right? And he's like, yeah, it's definitely him. So we say hi and everything, and then we go to our table, and then Eric was leaving, and he brings over the rest of his Element Lemberger to our table, and was like, you guys should finish this. We got to head out. We have an early day tomorrow, and it was delicious. It was
Nice.
so bomb. Our waitress was like, do you know this guy? Because he like came over and was like, you guys should have the rest of this bottle.
Kind of big deal, so it's fine.
Yeah, right.
No, it's funny. So I saw you guys at Ryan William, and then literally the same day, like I went straight from there to Forge, and just rolled into Forge because I knew Eric was there, and then we went to Chateau Lafayette, and they were going from there directly to Kindred Fair. And Kindred Fair, if anyone's visiting, amazing food in Geneva. Just FYI.
Really good.
So let's get to what you're talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
I know we know what it is, but for anyone that doesn't know, let's get to it.
All right, let's get to it.
Oh no! There we go. There we go.
Okay, so for those that don't know me, by the way, am I cutting out at all? Because I can turn my Wi-Fi off if I am.
A tiny bit. It might just be me, but you are like a tiny bit. But I think everyone was.
Okay. Okay, so for those of you who know or don't know me, I go by Grape Chic, and I just transitioned into the wine world as a private client in private client sales and wine consultant for Chateau de Pomar in Burgundy. However, I want to make it clear that when I visit Herman Weimer, and I've been visiting there for many years, I've always begged Oscar, who runs operations and business operations there, to hire me to be the Herman Weimer brand ambassador in New York City. And I am still waiting, Oscar, if you're out there, I'm waiting for the call because I have been such an ambassador for these wines for years. I am completely obsessed. This is the Herman J. Weimer 2017 bio. And, with this wine, when I have somebody that tells me, listen, I like old world wines, I like German Riesling, I always like say, listen, try Herman Weimer. It has the minerality that you crave from a German wine,
Yeah.
but it has that acidity and the minerality, but the fruit of New World and the fruit of Finger Lakes that really captures the terroir and really captures what the Finger Lakes are about. And it has everything. So it has the minerality, It has the acid, it has the fruit, and it all comes together in this insane bomb of aromatics. And it just it blows me out of my chair every single time. I can't get over it. So this bottle in particular is called Bio because this certain plot of land, they started practicing biodynamics in this certain plot in the HJW vineyard. They have a couple vineyards. So they have HJW, they have Magdalena, as you know, which the Magdalena vineyard is very good. I know you like that one.
Oh yeah, it's so freaking good. The fruit's crazy.
It's so good too. So this is the HJW is their original vineyard, and they started a couple years ago, practicing some biodynamic practices here, and it's been going really well. And so they started expanding it to other blocks in the vineyard. It is not Demeter certified biodynamics yet, because that does take years, but that is the plan for them.
For me, I personally love the idea of a biodynamic wine. I love the idea of the no herbicides, pesticides, you know, kind of holistic approach to wine. You know, people can go back and forth about it all day. But I truly feel the vibrancy and the vibrations in a wine that is made that way. It sings to me. And this wine is, sorry, I'm rambling. This is what I do every time.
No, don't go ahead. This is why I wanted you here.
Don't challenge me with a Herman Weimer session.
Wait, Nicole, you're freezing up for a minute. It might just be me. Is there? Okay. Oh, there you are.
Am I back?
You're good now. I'm not sure if it's your Wi-Fi. You tell me. No, come back.
Wi-Fi off just in case.
Okay.
So anyways, so this wine in particular has everything that I love about a Finger Lakes Riesling and everything I love about Herman Weimer. The aromatics here go everything from yellow apple, Asian pear, jasmine, lemon, whetstone, chamomile, white blossom. I mean, it's crazy. Like there's a little like tangerine in here. The acidity is popping. I just made like a mazamon, like a brothless ramen, and it was.
You're getting fancy up in here.
Unbelievable with this wine. And every time I go there, it's always, you know, another wine that I fall in love with. They also have really great Cab Franc. And Meg was also there in October, and we got to try, Oscar had opened the 2009 Pinot Noir.
Yeah, that's legit. Yeah.
It was so
I think
legit.
I had the 07 Pinot last year, I think. But they haven't had a varietal Pinot in a minute. It's been years, and I think they're doing one again.
Yeah,
because I think most of the Pinot that they've had has gone into sparkling.
Exactly.
Yeah, but one thing about this one in particular. So this is, you have the bottle there, right?
Yes.
It's just labeled as Riesling. Am I wrong? Is that correct?
Just Riesling.
So it's funny because like this is technically like the driest of all their Riesling that's, I think, like currently for sale. I might be wrong, but I know like their dry Riesling, like in terms of residual, is going to be a little bit higher than this one. Mm-hmm. So if anyone's like dead set on like drier Riesling, this is definitely going to be, I'm almost certain it's like 4 grams.
And it might even be less. It's like 3 to 4 grams, I believe. And it's very dry. But I will say it's super dry, but the fruit is just so concentrated. I keep using this word over and over, but it could almost fool somebody into being like, oh, wow, it's so fruit forward that it's like, wow, that could be a little sweetness, but it's not. It's totally dry. But again, it's just balanced by this really awesome, like whetstone, like crushed gravel minerality. And they make really great sparkling wines as well. They age them on the lees for years. For some of these cuvées, I had, I think, a 2013 that was like disgorged. I think, I don't know if it was like 4 or 5 years. Like it was a good amount of time. So definitely one of my favorites. And I love the Cab Franc too. It's another good one from there. Yeah. But we bought the 2009 Pinot Noir, like Meg did.
Yeah,
as well.
Baller.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's funny. My aunt, I've just gotten her into wine a lot more, and she just bought like 6 bottles of Weimer's Cab Franc like a month ago. I was like, that's good, but there's a lot of Cab Franc here that you can try. And she was like, yeah, screw it, I'm just gonna buy like as much as I want right now.
No, whatever, there's a lot of fantastic Cab Franc. And like Eric said, some of the things that I like, some of the aspects of the Cab Franc and the Finger Lakes that I really love, again, is you have like some really nice, beautiful earthy notes and other tones like that, and sometimes animal characteristics here and there, but you get this, it's less green, I guess, than some of the Cab Franc that you would find in the old world, and you just get a little bit more ripeness. Even in a place as cold as the Finger Lakes, you still get just a little bit more ripeness, a little bit less green. You could definitely find some greener styles, but for those people that actually struggle with that pyrazine, that you know, that component that makes it really bell peppery. You can find some excellent examples in the Finger Lakes where it's not that harsh. And also want to bring up, because no one's really brought it up yet, some killer Chardonnay going on.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's some great Chardonnay. Don't even start it.
And Kendall, I was almost gonna pop on with the Nathan Kendall Chardonnay, but
if I had some restraint, I wouldn't have drank it right away. But I drank that in like a night, and like that was done. Yeah, there's some killer Chardonnay. I feel like we should do a whole separate other thing, just Chardonnay one day.
We could, because I think that obviously everyone thinks of Riesling. A lot of people think of Blau or Cab Franc, but definitely Chardonnay is like coming through big time for me. And I don't know if it's like always been, and I just didn't really care. But this year I've really noticed it on my last trip. I'm like, wow, people are making really phenomenal Chardonnay, and it's really exciting.
Legit Chardonnay. Yeah, I think I could like wax poetic about that for like a couple hours. You let me. So that'll be a next time thing.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to add before I move on here?
You know, I'm trying to think. There's just so many places that I love. I don't know if people know this. I'm from Rochester, New York, born and raised. My mom lives like 45 minutes west of Geneva, and I actually got married at Ventosa on Seneca Lake. So there's definitely a really special bond that I have with the Finger Lakes. I would say to anybody that hasn't been, that's, you know, we're in a weird time right now. I understand that. And so traveling is weird, but if you haven't been, it is just a place that you will fall in love with. Like Christy said, the people are just so hospitable and welcoming. The food scene is killer. I mean, you have Chris Bates and Isabel just blowing up the food scene left and right, restaurants opening all over the place. And it's just becoming a destination. But don't all go at once. I don't want these prices inflated too much, please. I'm still really enjoying, you know, buying the cases that I get. But yeah, definitely don't sleep on it. Yeah,
for sure. Big time. So I'm going to have a question about Lemberger versus Blau. I'll get to that in a minute here. But thank you, Nicole. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you. We'll be here, but I'm going to bring on Maya in a minute here, and we'll see you later, okay?
Perfect. See you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right, Maya, I'm coming for you. Hot minute here.
Oh, hey.
How are you?
I thought about hitting decline, but then I decided I should probably pick it up.
I mean, I invited you. I don't know what you want. Like,
Okay.
oh my God. I would have been so mad if you backed out on me now.
Oh, never, never, never.
Oh, God. Yeah. So, for anyone that doesn't know you yet, do you want to do a quick intro?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Maya. I used to run an Instagram account called Chasing Greatness, and then I shut it down for a lot of reasons. And now I am writing about wine a little bit on the side, and I do some marketing as well. And I like to drink good wine.
Same girl, same.
Yeah.
So I am very excited for the wine that you chose, for a number of reasons. And I realized this morning when you posted that, that I, just this year alone, I had already posted it twice. So that's me. So tell us, yeah. And I think, I'm not sure if he's still here, but one of the assistant winemakers, Wes from Atwater, I think he's on here. But anyway, do you want to get to your wine and tell us more about it?
Yeah, so I've got this Atwater. It is a Gewurz Chardonnay blend orange wine, and now I'm going to show you what it looks like because it's so beautiful. And I even have a little piece of paper because I'm a nerd. So you can see.
Wait! I'm surprised you still have some. You didn't drink it all in like an hour?
So here's what happened. So Andy and I drank one together and we were like blown away because you know when you go tasting all day long with your friends like you do with Adrian, and I think we were with Sarah as well.
Yeah, we were with Sarah from Great Parents, Sarah.
Yeah, and it was definitely towards the end of our day, so perhaps my palate was not as great as it might have been at the beginning. So Andy and I needed to taste this wine again, and we did, and we were like blown away. Also, I'm just keeping it real. I feel like we've all been there at the end of your day. So
no comment. No comment.
I know. We were blown away. So we ended up going back and buying 3 bottles, and they're each labeled with dates. We have a very regimented labeling system for when we are allowed to open these bottles. I actually had to beg to open this one.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah. Yes, okay. Good. So I know you wrote it in your post this morning, but what did you have for your notes about it? I think when I had it, and I don't have any like notes on me, I think the thing that I liked about it was that it was really bodied and creamy, and it wasn't like over the top Gewürzy at all. Because a lot of times I think people get turned off with seeing Gewürztraminer on the label, and I was like, this doesn't even smell like or feel like an over the top Gewürztraminer, because it's not. But you go ahead, tell us. You do you.
No, I was just gonna say it's a 52% Gewürz, 48% Chard, so it's a pretty nice blend, and I think a lot of what they did was treat it with a lot of care and balance to make sure that it turned out in this way that wasn't going to weigh too heavily Gewürz and be too spicy for anybody or too shardy. And you know, I'm just sort of fascinated by the preparation of it all. You know, they picked the Chardonnay first. They picked the Gewürz.
I'm sorry, I'm being rude. I like how Meg is like, I hate Gewürz in the comments right now.
Is she?
Sorry.
I'm not even looking. Meg, come on, girl.
I'm sorry.
Didn't you just post how much you loved that ice wine Gewürz or whatever it was?
So I'm gonna give Meg crap in a minute. So we were at Lamoureux 2 months ago, and I made her try that Gewürz ice wine, and I was like, I asked her, I was like, do you trust me? And she's like, yes. So then you have to drink this, and then she bought it. So that's me. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry to cut you off again.
No, because Gewürz rocks, and everybody needs to know that. Meg. So they picked the Chardonnay first. They picked the Gewürz about a week later. Both were fermented on skins. The Chard, I'm looking at notes because I want to make sure I get it right. The Chard spent 18 days on skins. The Gewürz spent 15 days on skins. They were then barreled and went through malolactic fermentation. So there's just so much nice balance and like roundness to this wine that's not going to overwhelm your palate in any way. Yeah, I love it. It's sort of, I know we were talking about that like marmalade note. It's like the good marmalade though, and I feel like everybody needs to really get that it's like the kind your grandma made, but your grandma maybe put a little bit of like ginger in her orange marmalade because she doesn't play. Like it's just so good.
Just whispering sweet nothings to me now. Yeah. And marmalade is top of any jelly jam list for me, just FYI. But yeah, I freaking love that one. So Atwater, if anyone doesn't know, is also in Hector / Burdett, right on the edge right there. Southeast side of Seneca Lake. Primary spot in terms of growing grapes. They have Cab Franc, they have Syrah, they have Blanc Frankish. Obviously Riesling, everyone and their mother has Riesling. What else am I missing? What else do they have? They have some fun Patnats going down.
They do have some Patnats going down, a little bit of everything. They have that that blend that I love, that's the Riesling Gewürz blend, and I know I talk about it too much.
Reverts? Yeah.
Can never say it tastes good.
West, the winemaker, they have a traditional method, Method Champenois Gewürz. So if anyone is super into bubbles and Gewürztraminer together, one big happy family, I think that's the only traditional method Gewürz here. Anyone correct me if I'm wrong, but I doubt I am on that one.
I don't know if they still have it, Belangelo, and I can also never pronounce that properly ever, but they used to have one as well.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Probably Gewürz is so good.
Anything else that you want to add about anything, Atwater or not?
I was really struck by Atwater, and I wanted to talk about them tonight because They are doing some good work and not in a performative way in terms of trying to bring some diversity into the Finger Lakes. And I think that that's important to note. I was just minding my business on the internet, as we do. And I came across a job posting that they put up on the African American Vintner Association looking for some support. And I thought that was really cool. You know, they didn't shout it from a mountaintop that they were doing this work. They're just doing the work. And I think that's awesome.
Nice. Is it the African American Vintners Association? Is that what it is?
Yep. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know a couple of other wineries in the Finger Lakes have posted either in that one or a similar one. But I am curious if there are any others. Anybody that's here, feel free to let me know. We'll shout them out. We'll put it on here, you know, DM me or put it in the comments and we'll get to it. But yeah, obviously it's, well, maybe it's not obvious, but it's super important to me as well, personally. So I definitely want to know if anyone else is doing that here in the Finger Lakes. So
Same.
anybody feel free to. What's that?
I said same. I want to give them props.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So definitely let me know if anybody, you know, historic viniferous sites. Yep, for sure. Good stuff. All right. Well, thank you, Miles. Good to see your face. I hope I can see you in person, like across a couple of tables, you know, sometime. Either in the snow, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I would be down just for your tasting notes alone, Adrian. So.
Oh my God. Oh my! Don't even get me started on my tasting notes.
Well,
I think the first time when I originally met you was at a blind sparkling tasting here, right?
Yeah.
2 years ago?
At JR
Dill. Yeah. And I invited you guys, and it was packed. We had to close the door because people were, you know, over the capacity. And I don't even remember my notes on that one. I was just like, that's delicious. Like, I don't even know. But
all of it was awesome. That was so fun.
Yeah. Those were the days. But anyway, thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you soon, okay?
Bye.
All right, Meg, I'm coming for you.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
You know what's funny? You were at the very top of my, like, request list. I think Instagram just guessed that I was coming for you next.
Well, so your pets haven't made an appearance yet, but my child is sitting right next to me.
Oh, hi, Plato.
Hi. Yeah, he climbed up and sat next to me, so I was like, oh, I guess he wants to be on video. So.
All right, so my cat is not here. I have a Sheltie, but.
Hi, Bridget. Whitney.
This is Aurora.
Aurora!
And she's much easier to pick up.
Exactly which one it is. I just know their faces.
Yeah. They both have one blue eye, so I'm gonna be covered in dog hair. You're welcome. Yeah.
That's so cute.
Apollo will come on in a hot minute, but he's busy.
Good.
Anyway, for anybody that doesn't know you, can you do a quick intro?
Yes, I can. So, like Eric, I am also living in Pittsburgh, but I'm also not originally from Pittsburgh. I'm originally from the Poconos, and then lived in DC for quite a long time, and now I live in Pittsburgh. And yeah, so I have Megan Berlow is my account, obviously. I work in marketing by day, and then at night talk to you fine folks about wine, and write about it for the Vendor Project and for my own blog. And I also am a big Finger Lakes fan. So I've been to the Finger Lakes twice. Both times I've hung out with Adrian, which has been awesome. Also got to meet Maya up there. I've also met.
Oh yeah, last year that was fun.
Yeah, that's when we.
I remember that because I told Maya, I had already planned the day out, and I texted Maya. I was like, I need you to just either like call in sick or just ditch for the day because you're gonna come wine tasting with us. And she was like, no, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And she ended up doing it like the next day. And we did Domaine LeSueur, Weimer, went to Hector, right?
And Atwater.
And Atwater for a minute.
Yeah, we met up with the design wino who I know was on, which I don't know if she's still on, but we met up with her and her husband as well.
Yeah.
At Atwater, so that was nice. It was a really nice day.
Yeah, Amy and Kaylin. Yeah. Nice. So tell us about what you have tonight. I know you posted earlier, but for anyone that doesn't know.
Yeah, so I think that Kelby, who is the winemaker for this, is actually on this or was on this. So, no pressure talking about his wine. If we have questions, hopefully he's still on and he can answer them. But so this is a 2013 Red Newt Tango Oaks Vineyard Riesling. And so like Eric had mentioned, the Banana Belt in the south, I think it was Eric or maybe it was Christy, mentioned on the southeastern side of Seneca Lake, there's an area called the Banana Belt, which obviously, you could talk to better than I could. But essentially, from what I understand, it's a warmer part. Hector's down around there too, right?
Yep.
So there's various wineries down there. So that's where Tango Oaks is from. And
nice.
I actually put, as you know, in my stories earlier this week, a survey or a poll, whatever, to see which one I should drink, because I had another choice too. And overwhelmingly, people picked this one. And if I had to guess, I would say maybe it was because it's a 2013. And I don't know if people often see, aged wines from the Finger Lakes. I don't think it's a thing we talk about it enough. And I know it's come up a few times actually tonight, which is great. Actually, in addition to pulling that bottle and opening it, I actually pulled out a few of the other aged wines that I have from the Riesling or from the Finger Lakes, because I was like, I don't know if people know they should age, especially the Riesling, right? So I
love that you're about to just throw it down and show it off. I like it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I didn't open all of these though. So the 2011 Lamoureux semi-dry Riesling.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That was real good.
2006 Sparkling Lamoureux. So if you guys are sleeping on aged wine from the Finger Lakes, also the one that Nicole mentioned, so 2009 Pinot Noir from Weimer, and then this amazing one that you and Maya know I love so much, the 2012 Weimer.
Oh, yeah.
So, the moral of the story is you guys should buy Finger Lakes wine. If you can find it aged, buy it. If you can't,
you know what's funny? I have that one right here.
There you go. Because it's amazing.
It just happened to be right behind me. I wasn't planning it. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, so this one that, you're fine. So this one that I opened, the 2013, we can have these aged bottles and we can say, oh, that's cool, we have these aged bottles. But what's important, obviously, is what's in the glass, right?
Yeah.
And this could age at minimum 5 more years, I think. It is so bright. The acidity that I feel right now, just from taking a small sip, is so distinct. And the flavors, the peach, still fresh peach. It's not even moving into like a dry peach or like a candy peach or anything like that yet. It's amazing. So I mean, this didn't even have to be open today, It's just
both this one and Nicole's Bio Riesling Weimer I had within the past 2 months, maybe 2.5 months, and I tasted them both over like 5 days, and they both just kept improving and improving and improving every single day. And people are like, how do you do that? Just I had a bunch of things open, don't get crazy. But that to me is one of the kind of signatures of well-made wine, when it's going to hold up, as well as it does over time like that. And I read it was just on here a minute ago. They were saying right now they're for sale 2010, 2011, 2013 Rieslings, just on their regular site store. Just regularly. It's not like you have to be anyone can just go and buy them.
No, you really don't have to. I went to Sheldrake Point last summer. I just walked in with some of my friends. I was on a bachelorette party. It was not like I wasn't there. It's like, oh, I'm a wine blogger or anything like that. And at the tasting bar, they had, I think it was 2006. Their dry Riesling just to taste for, a few dollars a glass or to add it to your flight. And so if you are looking for aged wines, because we all do want to get into aged wine and they can be hard to find, they can be expensive, things like that. The Finger Lakes is a really good option, I think, for people that people often overlook. You can go there and you can buy these things pretty easily, honestly. So it is nice to try these things.
And it was funny, Kelby, was the winemaker there, was just saying to decant the Riesling. And I messaged Meg yesterday. I think, it was last night maybe. And when I knew you were going to do this one, and I told you to open it yesterday intentionally for today.
Yeah.
because I knew it would change so much, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It changed quite a bit. It did. For the better. I think it was good, really good when I first opened it, but then it's evolved now since it's been in the fridge for about 24 hours. And I mean, I'm not going to finish this all tonight. And like you, I will leave things in the fridge for a few days. So I'll probably have a glass of this tomorrow, and I'll realistically finish it by Friday. Friday will probably be the longest it will last. But yeah, I'm going to have a little bit of it tonight, and then tomorrow and Friday, and I'll have a few more things open in my fridge too. I actually have in there an Atwater Pet Nat in the refrigerator too to open sometime soon too.
Lao Pet Nat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, that one's fun. I just want to say real quick, Shelly More Than Pinot, happy birthday. It's her birthday on here, so happy birthday to her. So I have a question for you, Meg. We had some of the questions that I kind of gathered beforehand. One of them was, when you go wine tasting, what is it that makes you decide to buy X bottle or not when you go tasting?
That's a great question. Because I do buy quite a bit when I'm tasting, especially in the Finger Lakes because I could drive. But when we used to travel internationally, I would be more limited with what I would bring back in my luggage. So what would I pick? So in terms of when I was most recently in the Finger Lakes, the things I was looking for were things that are a little bit harder to find, especially in stores. So for example, like we were just talking about aged wines, you can find those at the wineries. Finding them online and in stores, obviously way more difficult, nearly impossible. You're not going to find this, Herman Weimer 2009 Pinot Noir in stores. You are going to find it up there. Are you going to find the Herman J. Weimer 2019 Dry Riesling in stores? Yes. I wouldn't purchase that one at the winery. I would prioritize the 2009 Pinot Noir. So anything that's more rare. Also, a lot of times, sometimes wineries I find have better prices. So if it's something that is a more expensive bottle that you think that you might want to buy that maybe you don't want to pay shipping for, or that you just don't want to go hunting for, so something more expensive, especially if you're driving, because then you're handling it and you're driving it. Things that are a little bit more investment pieces, I do try to buy at wineries versus ordering them. Because like I said, the 2019 Dry Riesling from Weimer, I can order that. I think wine.com has it. The PA liquor store even has it. But like this, they're not going to have,
Yeah.
So yeah,
for sure.
That's how I decide.
Nice. There was a question in the comments a minute ago from Rookie Sam, and I think it was, what's the oldest Finger Lakes wine that you've had? For me, I had a 1990 something Pinot last year, Light and Frost, and I also had a 95 and 96 Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon last year from Shalestone, and one of them was done, but one of them was still fine. But what's funny is that, like, I'm sure Riesling can age well, obviously, but all three of those, obviously not Riesling. And everyone always just thinks of only Riesling with the Finger Lakes. So, but what about you? What's the oldest that you've had?
It would probably be that Sheldrake. It was 2006 Riesling. I haven't had anything in the 90s yet. So that would have been 14 years. No, it would have been 13 years old.
13, yeah.
Because it was last year. So that's the oldest white that I've had, which is a significant amount of time. And then the oldest red would be the 2009 Pinot Noir, I'm pretty sure. And the oldest sparkling would be the 2006 Lamoureux Sparkling, which I have the bottle of because
that one's so good.
It is.
Yeah.
So, I was not going to, that's an example. I was not going to pass that one up. I was like, this is special. You know what else too, in terms of buying wine, something too, especially when I'm traveling abroad, a bar that I'll have, if I'm at a winery and they have one of their vineyards, like in Barolo, for example, they have like a lot of their vineyards right on site. And like the specialness of like looking over that vineyard at the winery, sometimes I'll try to buy that specific vineyard wine, and then I'll hold on to that. There's wines like that I like stood in Italy that I'm never going to open just because they're special. So things like that.
Yeah. Apollo, real quick. I'm going to get Apollo here. Apollo, wake up.
Plato put himself in bed, so he will be joining us.
Meg, what else do we want to tell people?
Kelby, who's the winemaker in this, I'm not just saying this because he might still be on this. He's like awesome, super nice. When I was on the road show with him virtually, there he is. Look at him.
I knew he'd be half asleep, so I knew I'd have to pick him up.
Oh, he's so sweet though. Look at his nose. And he's like smiling.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Sorry, I cut you. I'm going to put him down. You go ahead.
Apollo is the most important. Apollo is very important. Kelby, I love you too, but Apollo, I mean, he knows dogs. But yeah, so Kelby also does his line too, which I've had the rosé from that you gifted me that time.
Yeah.
And he's just like an awesome winemaker. If you're one of the people who kind of follows winemakers in the Finger Lakes, I would say to put Kelby on your list. Also Alexandra from Hector, who Christy mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they're my two, like, I think they're really cool and I want to know what they're up to. So that I would say that's what to note about Red Newt.
Nice. Great stuff. What I like about Red Newt is that even though, technically they're known as like a Riesling house, they are still doing Gewürz, Pinot Gris, Syrah, Cab Franc. I love that unoaked Cab Franc from Red Newt. Absolutely love it. Merlot. Sometimes they have some Bordeaux blends going back. I'm not sure if they're doing them right now. But yeah, they have some excellent other things that they're doing that are not just Riesling to be on the lookout for. But I think that's it. Anything else we want to tell people that people don't know?
I don't think so. I think those were all the platforms that I had to share. Aged wine, Red Newt, other wines besides Riesling. I totally agree with you. I wrote a blog post when I got back about my realization around red wine there. I do feel like it's interesting because when you go to any wine region, you sort of have these realizations. And every time you do that, for instance, the first time I was in the Finger Lakes, I didn't realize honestly how rural it was going to be and how sort of remote and still like not Napa, guys. It is not Napa. It is not.
This is like the hardcore sticks.
You're in the sticks.
I remember we were in my truck and I was like, we're going to get lost because we're going to lose reception. And I'm just going to hope that I'm like driving that away. And like we got there eventually and, we were fine. But like, I know exactly where we're going to lose reception because it's like cows, farm, Amish country, grapes, and then like rinse, repeat. Like it's, yeah.
Exactly. It is. So that was kind of my first realization of the feel for the region, my first time there. And then my second time there was really the red wines, I have to say. It was the realization. I knew there were good reds, but the broad scope of the red wines up there, I really started to understand that on my second trip. And so I would definitely say go. Once we're all vaccinated, fingers crossed soon, everybody should go. So.
Yay. Well, thank you all for coming. If there are any real quick questions, I'll get to them. But if not, I think I will close it down. But feel free to reach out to any of us with questions. Everybody that's on here, like I said earlier, I have met and tasted with here in the Finger Lakes, I think most of them multiple times. So that's it. But thank you all for coming, and I'll see you guys around here, okay? Thank you. Bye, guys. Have a good night.